Gangster, gangster, gangster. I'm back again. I had to cut the other one short. I was having had to go and pull up a little bit of information real quick. But so I left off with Pat McAfee wrestling Austin Theory. Um, and that was a pretty good match. It wasn't anything that you really would expect like a 5-star match from. But it was a pretty good match. There was a couple spots on there where Pat McAfee was able to show out exactly how athletic he is. Um, and he won the match. Now, what happened after the match is where I think shocked everybody. Kind of like what the it was one of those what the fuck moments. And that was when Pat McAfee had called out Vince McMahon. Now keep in mind, Vince McMahon is like damn near 80s, damn near 80 years old. and he got in the ring. He actually had a match tonight. He had a WrestleMania match tonight. Um, and it was, as you would expect, uh, a 70-year-old man, wrestling somebody that's in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of expect what was going to happen with that. And then Vince McMahon won, which was absolutely crazy. And while Vince was celebrating with Austin Theory, then all of a sudden you heard that broken glass and the people lost their shit. I was watching the live stream reactions on this one channel, and people lost their shit. And Austin came in there, and did what he did. He brought Pat McAfee in. They had some beers, and then he stunned Pat McAfee. So that was pretty good. You had Sasha Banks and Naomi winning the women's tag team titles. In it was a fatal 4-way match. Johnny Knoxville from Jackass beat Sami Zayn. What else happened? It was a long night. So excuse me if I'm, trying to remember everything because I'm doing this off the cuff. So just bear with me. Let's see. What else was? Edge and AJ Styles. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Edge's new theme and just the whole gimmick, I'm getting Undertaker vibes. It was real, like, okay, this motherfucker over here on some shit right now. You know what I'm saying? But that was a pretty good match. It was a good match. It was a grinded out type of match. And it was they didn't do, you can tell that these guys were, older and not their young selves, because if we're talking about 20-year-old Edge and 20-year-old AJ Styles, well, they flying all over the ring. So they had a grinded out mat based type match, and it was good. And Edge won with a spear, but the reason how he won was AJ was going to go for a flying forearm, but he got distracted by Damian Priest, who was just standing there, just like literally out of where he was just standing there, like he just popped up out of nowhere, just out of thin air. He's just right there, and so that distracted AJ. And then so when AJ did finally get up and go to do the move, here comes Edge with the spear, 1, 2, 3, and now Damian Priest and Edge are aligned. Now that which is interesting, because for a lot of y'all that don't watch independent wrestling, Damian Priest used to go by the name of Punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor and in other indie promotions. And he always had this like real like demonic character, real type look to him. Um, so it fits, and I'm real interested on seeing where they go with that storyline. Uh, what else happened on the night? Let me see. I'm trying to remember everything that happened on the night. Let's see. It was the tag team. See, Fatal Four Ways, tag team titles. I know I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something. Ah, shit. Hold on for a second, y'all. Give me. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. If I have it on here, no. Okay, let's see. No, I don't have it on here. Okay, so yeah, those were basically some of the moments, results that happened, but I think everybody was waiting for the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, WWE title, not United States title, Universal title, unification match. And at first I was, because when they incorporated blood to the build-up, I was like, okay, well maybe this is going to be one of them hard-hitting, bloodbaths. Boy, was I wrong. I was wrong for thinking that these guys would be able to give a different match from all the other matches that they had previously in WrestleMania. It was your standard Brock Roman type match, you know, spear, Superman punch, suplex, Superman punch, suplex, F5, suplex, spear. You know, you know, they, I don't know if they can even give a different style of match. Um, well, let me say this: they wouldn't be able to give a different style of match while having that match in WWE. If that match happened anywhere else, you're going to get a different result. You're going to get probably a better match because you would actually have to go out there and really show that you can go. Um, and while I'm saying this, I just remembered Bobby Lashley against Omos. God damn. That's all I gotta say. God damn. Hey, what's going on, Lonnie? What's happening? How's it going? I'm just going through these WrestleMania results, and talk about and just give my opinion and thoughts on what happened tonight. I was going to do it last night on night one, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm doing night two tonight. So yeah, it was Bobby Lashley against Omos. Now keep in mind, if y'all haven't seen Omos he stands about 7'3", about maybe 7'2", 7'3". Bobby Lashley is about 6'4", about 6'3", 6'4". And he picked this big, gigantic dude up and, handled his business. Gave him a suplex, did his thing, and he came out with the win. So I'm interested on seeing where they go with him because he was supposed to have been out of action. He had a shoulder injury, and he was supposed to been out for like a good almost 6 months. So the fact that he came back earlier and had the match, You know, and and what was funny was last year, because I subscribed to this other a wrestling channel. It's called Wrestle Talk, and they're based out of England. Good information you can get from there. Um, but one of the hosts said last year, because there was a confrontation on Monday Night Raw between Bobby Lashley and Omos. It was kind of like a stare down. And when they did the review of Raw, the host had brought up that they were setting up a match, or they could be possibly setting up a match later down the line between these two. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, yeah, Lonnie, they started doing the two nights a couple years ago when the pandemic started. Because it was supposed to just been just a standard one night. But when the pandemic hit, and they had to close everything up, they had to stretch it over 2 days. That way, everybody wasn't in the confines, in the same place at the same time. And I guess they got so good of a ratings over it that they decided to continue on with it. Now it's good. Oh, what's going on, Jesse? I'm just doing a whole WrestleMania thing, what I'm saying, just shooting the shit tonight, Um, now what's interesting is it's a good idea, but it's too long. Because each night runs like 4 hours a piece. You know, and you get kind of drugged down. But from a money standpoint, you can, generate, double your money. But it was a pretty good show. It was a pretty good show. I'd probably give night 2 a B. I give night 1 probably like a high C. But as a matter of fact, no. I'm giving night 1. Now keep in mind, this is my own personal opinion. These are my own personal thoughts. I give night 1 an A plus. And the reason why I give it an A plus is because the homegirl Bianca Belair got that belt back. And not only that, but because I actually missed that match, particularly because I was busy doing other things. So I went back earlier today and I watched both entrances and the entire match. And Bianca Belair, being that they was out there in Texas, she had the Texas Southern marching band coming out to do her entrance. She kept it for the culture. She did it for the culture. Her outfit and everything. I was like, go ahead, sister. You did your thing. You know what I'm saying? And she out there, you know what I'm saying, representing for all of us brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, that enjoy wrestling and grew up watching wrestling, but we never got a chance to see these characters, these figures that look like us outside of a couple here and there. Like in my time, there was Bad News Brown and there was Butch Reed, Ron Simmons. That was about it. It wasn't a whole lot of black wrestlers at that time. Now, you had your Rock's dad, and Tony Atlas and them. Of course, Tony Atlas, he kind of overlapped into my generation, but I didn't really get to see him like how everybody else got to see him during his early days. I caught him more when he was, coming close to the end of his career. So I definitely got to give a big shout out to Bianca Belair and all the black wrestlers out there. I want to personally give a shout out to all of them because, because yeah, Booker T and The Rock, yeah, that, and that was later down the line, you know, I know, like it's crazy because coming from the backgrounds that people like me come from, we get well, you're watching wrestling, oh, that stuff ain't real, and that woo. You can say it's not real, but it's not real as far as the storylines go and it's choreographed. But the action itself is actually real. And I know this for a fact because, like, I think I may have mentioned it on one of these lives before, but I actually did a little bit of wrestling. It wasn't like what they do on TV. I did more of the backyard type stuff where we did the moves, but it was a little bit more. It wasn't like it wasn't professionally done. So to run those ropes, to take a bump, just basic holds, headlock and stuff like that, that stuff hurts. you know, um, but to see the black athletes, getting their shine now. I mean, I was just telling my mom, well, I was telling my mom and I was telling a couple of other people, especially the ones that do watch wrestling, that they have a lot more black athletes out there. And we're not just talking about WWE. We're talking about AEW, the new company that they do a good job at highlighting the black athletes, um, female and male. As a matter of fact, in AEW, they actually have a belt called the TNT title, and there's a sister named well, I don't want to get her name wrong. Her last name is Cargill. Jade Cargill. There you go, Jade Cargill. Now this sister right here is bad. You know what I'm saying? And she keeps her sex appeal, her femininity. She really does her thing, and she represents for the culture. And I couldn't be more proud of her and the rest of these athletes that go out there and they bust their ass just for our entertainment. You know, and to see how when they go out there, that they're doing it for the culture. That they're doing it for our community by the type of outfits that they wear. Hell, if you look at the New Day, yeah, we look at them like, okay, what's wrong with these brothers? They come out with unicorn horns and stuff like that. But then you see them and they come out, they got African garb on, they got African. As a matter of fact, Kofi Kingston, he's from Ghana. And I didn't know that for the longest time. And they actually did a profile on him where he went back home. And I was like, oh, okay, so we actually got, a brother from the land out here pushing that line. Okay. So you see them out there and they're really doing it for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I dig that, because a lot of us do watch wrestling. As much as a lot of us don't want to be out here like, no, I don't watch wrestling. No, a lot of us do watch a wrestling. So, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just a form of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's a form of entertainment, and shit, it pays a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of benefits with it, because you get to travel around the country, around the world, make a lot of money, learn about different things that's out there outside of what in your own personal life or just within the United States as a whole. Oh yeah. Yeah, like Booker T and his brother Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat, which was crazy. Why why would they call him Harlem Heat? And these cats is from Texas. These cats is from, what I'm saying, Houston. But they always kept, every time they come out, ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string. That's an old school slang that a lot of us used to say back in the day. So they they brought in a lot of slang that we was using, you know, and stuff like that. So I am very proud. I am very proud of the black athletes that's finally getting their shine in the world of professional wrestling. Now we need to work on getting some ownership just in the world of sports as a whole. You know, I'm gonna transition a little bit. That was just a little, you know, I just want to touch on that real quick. You know, for all the wrestling heads out there. Um, but I was on YouTube earlier, and you know, the Colin Kaepernick topic I got brought up, and this guy, as a matter of fact, no, it was yesterday. As a matter of fact, because it was right. It was one of the videos that was shown when he did the workout when Jim Harbaugh had brought him out for the workout in the middle of a Michigan spring game. And you know, a lot of these people come on there and they be like, oh well, he shouldn't get a chance. He ain't no good. And I was explaining to him, you know, because he was like, well, I don't know why he did all that. He did all that, basically saying that he was a distraction, and there was no point in him doing that. And I was basically pointing out to him, like, you know, obviously you're not paying attention because that's what it was. He had brought up why would he want to go back to a place that he said that the players were like slaves and the plantation and all that. And I was telling him, like, obviously you ain't been paying attention because Kaepernick is trying to get back into the league because in order to make dramatic changes, and trust me, and I'll point this out to him too. Kaepernick has, you know how like you see how they just basically rearranged the Rooney Rule where every team must interview and pretty much have um a black coach on the offensive side, more like a maybe like an assistant uh offensive coordinator, basically for so that they can have better opportunities to become head coaches, become general managers, you know, high positions. And Kaepernick had a big part in that. You know, a lot of times, you know, for the longest time, you know, the conversation was always going on about this, about, you know, getting ownership, you know, into the league. But the way that the way that they were going about it, it wasn't working. So in the midst of Cap doing something and standing for something that we all should be standing for, I wouldn't care what color you is. If you're not against police violence against unarmed black men and women, then I can't, you know, there's something really wrong with you. You know, yeah, other races do encounter police brutality, but at the rate of what black people do, there's no comparison. So the fact that he went out the way to, like, wait, hold up, I don't like what I'm seeing. Let me stand up on something. Let me speak on this and let me put it out there. And that's what he did. He lost his job. He lost, you know, he basically got kicked out the league and got blackballed after that. But he stood on something. He stood for what he believed in. He stood for what was right. And then shortly after that, that's when the NFL had to look at themselves That's when all them little backdoor meetings and the other players having the meetings and getting what they want as far as with their communities, you know, in their cities and states. You know, Kaepernick, Kaepernick's impact has changed a lot in the world of the NFL. And so he wants to get back because he loves to play football. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But he wants to show that we can take something that we love and we can take that narrative of that plantation out and be more of, okay, this is what we get paid for. This is what we love to play. This is what we love to do. Let's do it. But let's do it in a way where the owners are not the quote unquote owners and the players aren't getting treated like the slaves. Yeah, they're getting multi-million-dollar contracts. Of course. But look at what they have to do to get that. Look at what they have to go through to get all those millions of dollars. They're sacrificing their bodies all throughout the week until Sunday. And don't let you have a Thursday night game after Sunday. That's only 3 days you have to prepare. And then don't let you turn around and have a Monday night game. So, although they're getting beat up, although they're making these multi-million-dollar contracts, they're sacrificing their health to where we've seen people kill themselves, lose everything, have these addictions to where they end up, not having anything that they made. It goes all bad. And where's the culpability of that? So it's a must that those owners, those good old boy owners, have to start, being held more accountable and start losing their positions. And what's crazy is I don't know why these other multi-million-dollar people that's out there that can actually make it happen, they just sit on their ass and act like nothing is going on. See, well, he won't get back in because he isn't a yes man and stands up for his beliefs. Let's see. Are the only way you can become and for owners if oh yeah, exactly. And you know where a lot of those votes, it's kind of like Congress. And I'm glad you brought that up, Lonnie, because that is true. Because the commissioner is like the president of the United States. He has say so, but he don't control nothing because it's the owners that actually hire the commissioner. So the commissioner is at the feet of the owners. But in the same way Congress works, there's a lot of back and forth, transactions going on to keep them in those or to get the votes so that they can keep their teams. But it's going to take a lot of moving and shaking and a lot of pressure from not only from the public, but if the players actually grew a backbone and they all banded together, yeah, the owners could go ahead and be like, okay, we'll just get replacement players, but who's going to want to watch replacement players? Because if that was the case, the XFL will still be the XFL. You got the USFL that's returning here in what, about 2 weeks, I think it is, on the 19th. You know, that was the case. This will take off like a rocket ship. You know, oh, excuse me, I just lost my train of thought a little bit, y'all. But but yeah, it's gonna take the players to really band together because the money's in the players, and the owners know that. You know, all these other leagues would have flourished throughout the years if it was that easy just to plug in anybody. It could work. It could work if their bottom line gets affected. Because they do have a lot of money that's stress, you know, but that's why it has to be you know, they gotta do it together. It can't just be somebody doing something over here, somebody doing something over here, and then somebody doing something over here. No, they gotta all band together. It does. Facts. Because if nothing is done, then you know we're just gonna go through another however many years of the same problem, the same issues. You know, as a matter of fact, uh, I seen what was that last week or so that the salary cap was supposed to be going up. Was supposed to be going up again after it's either this season or the season after. You know, which means more money for players, more money for the teams to, you know, go out there and overprice on a lot of these players. So, and these players know what their value is as far as the dollar amount goes. But I don't really think that they actually know what their value is, because if they actually knew what their value was, they would be playing in a whole different league. Which I am interested on seeing what this new version of the USFL is going to look like. You know, I want to see these other leagues do good. You know, because we definitely need something different out there. You know, because the NFL, you know, it's cool to watch and everything, but you know, it gets frustrating because you know it's like as soon as you breathe on the quarterback, you're getting flagged. if you just touch a receiver's shoulder while you're down the league, you're getting flagged. It's just a lot of unnecessary stuff that be going on. And then the games be like hella long when they shouldn't even be that long. See, I think the NFL players need to stand up for guaranteed contracts first. What kind of contact can be done over? Woo! There it goes. I think it has gotten stuffy. Oh yeah. Well, that's what the owners are trying to avoid to do because they don't want to give those guaranteed contracts. I mean, out of all sports, they're the ones that should be getting the guaranteed contracts more than any other sport. Just for the simple fact, they outside of boxing, wrestling, I'll even throw in rugby, but you don't really. I mean, rugby players get hurt, but they don't get hurt like how football players get hurt, which is crazy. But outside of those type of sports, football players, they take a lot of hits to the body. And not just during the games, but during the week at practice. As a matter of fact, they take more hits during the week than they actually do during the game. But the reason why it seems more is because it's a bigger impact. Because you can actually go out there and sack the quarterback. You can go out there and get you a good hit. You can't do that during practice. So a guaranteed contract is definitely something that needs to happen in the NFL. Baseball players get it, and they have a longer line of playing than football players do. What Tom Brady is doing is something that hasn't been seen. Like this man is, in the mid-40s and still playing at a high level. That's a rarity. So as far as playing and getting those guaranteed contracts, that's what's needed. It makes no sense for them to go out there and they put their bodies on the line the way that they do, and they don't get no guaranteed contracts. Oh well, yeah, yeah, but that's why it's a rarity, to be at that age and still have the ability to go out there and win a Super Bowl. He's definitely the one of the first ones. And I'm sitting here trying to think, like, see, matter of fact, John Elway, when he finally won, no, he was in his late 30s. He wasn't even in his 40s yet. You know, I can't think of anybody else because it really hasn't been anybody else. You know, usually these guys, you know, I mean, Warren Moon, he played until he was, I think he played until he was 40 or 41 or whatever, but he didn't win no Super Bowl, let alone get there. You know, Brady done been in multiple Super Bowls, you know, in his 40s. So to be able to do that, you know, he's definitely the first. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? If he didn't have those neck issues, he definitely would have, you know, he would definitely probably still be playing too. Because that's somebody else. I mean, it wasn't like Peyton was a runner himself. You know, he was very stationary, but he was able to be that way because, you know, he got the ball out fast for one, and then two, you know, Indy always had a good line for him, so he really didn't have to worry about getting hit too many times. Oh yeah, let's see, what is it? Oh, and Breeze, yeah, Breeze. You know, that guy right there. Woo. Yeah, I think him being short the way he was is well, it didn't help. Let me say that. You know, when when he would take his, oh my God. As a matter of fact, what was that? It was a Sunday game. It was the Saints and Niners, and we were out there. And who was it? I don't remember if it was Brooks, if it was Brooks, or if it was another. I want to say it was Ahmed Brooks. It might have been somebody else coming off that line. But I remember when they hit him, instead of his whole body going backwards, his head and neck went forwards when he was getting hit. And it was just like the weirdest thing to see because it was like, damn. I don't know how he got up. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those damn moments. You know, holy shit. Like, did he just get hit like that? You know, so him being short the way he was and taking those big hits like that definitely did not help him. Yeah, that was the craziest thing because I'm like, okay, you guys build up to win a Super Bowl, but nothing to kind of sustain at that level. You was in the playoffs a whole bunch of times, but as far as like getting back to the big dance, you know, it was like, you know, something weird would happen. Yeah, you remember that hit? That shit was, oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, I had to go back and I had to go and watch that game again. And I would go directly to that point in that game just so I could fast forward it and rewind it, watch that hit, rewind it, and watch, because I still couldn't believe how his head and neck went like that. And then he was able to still get up. It was crazy. Yeah, yeah, hella memes, hella of them. Like that was the craziest shit, you know. But and it wasn't just that hit. I mean, he took a lot of hits. He took a lot of hits. It was like, Are y'all going to get this man an offensive line? You know, because your franchise is getting killed out there.
I will say it takes luck. It takes luck. We got kicked on crazy plays multiple years. That's why I told Coffee I know how it feels to get knocked out the playoffs with a great QB.
Oh man, hey, you know what? I know a lot of people get on us Niner fans about all the success that we had back in the day. But let me tell you something. That game, now although I didn't watch that game because I was only like 4 years old at the time. Um, but that Washington game in '83, I think it was, that shit hurt. Going to that 19 what was it, the 1990 NFC Championship game with the Giants, when Joe Montana took that hit and we lost that game 16-13. Horrible feeling. I'm still feeling that feeling to this very day. Hey, no disrespect to what the Bills and the Chiefs did these last playoffs. But when it comes to classics, like at the top playoff games, that division game that we had against y'all, just the last 5 minutes, I ain't even got to go into the whole game. But Lonnie, do you agree with me? The last 5 minutes of that game was the greatest 5 minutes of a playoff game that any of us have seen. Tell me if I'm lying or not. Nah, that was before Doug Williams. Yeah, that was when they still had what's his face at quarterback. But that last 5 minutes, I'm talking about Alex Smith going throw for throw with Drew Brees, touchdown for touchdown. You know, anytime. But I'm saying though, outside of that though, wouldn't you agree that that last 5 minutes was right there at the top when it comes to classic playoff games? And we're not talking about the whole game because remember, we was up 17-0 on y'all, and y'all came back on us. And then it was kind of like a stale. It was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really did anything like in the third quarter too much. I think it was like a couple field goals or something, whatever. But if you I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. You know, that was crazy because nobody expected that. Everybody basically picked y'all to win. You know, and I was sitting back like, damn, ain't nobody watched us this year. Ain't nobody seen what we was doing. This ain't the same Alex Smith, you know, and he showed that. That was Alex Smith's coming out year. You know, because he played like an MVP that game. Well, I mean, what can I say? It you know it come it comes down to, you know, well, in this situation it didn't really come down to defense too much. That first quarter, like within the, hey, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I like this, but damn, hey Lonnie, all love, bruh. All love. But I didn't think about it like this until now. The last 5 minutes of that game, we beat y'all. The first 5 minutes of the game, we knocked your player out. We knocked your running back out. Bah! And while I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, damn. If you just erase those 10 minutes of that game, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Oh, yeah. Well, shit. It damn near looks like Breeze want to come out of retirement. You know, every time that I call him, on the NBC broadcast, especially when it came to watching y'all, it just, yeah, yeah, it is football. It just seemed like he was ready to take that suit off and go put a helmet back on. He doesn't need an arm. He just needs a running back. He needs a running back in the line. Let me let me take you back to 2019 when we was running all over everybody. I mean, even though because Garoppolo, he has an arm, but he doesn't have an arm. But we really didn't need him too much, especially against Green Bay in that championship game. Damn, they talking about WrestleMania on Sports Center. That's crazy. Um, see, what was it? That last season he couldn't throw past 15 yards. That's how the Bucks beat us. They only defended the 15 yards. But you know what? A good line and a strong a run game, it'll take you. It'll take you far. It will take you far. Yeah, well, you know what? We didn't need him to do much of that this year because Kyle has been relying more on the running game, as time went on, because he knows when it comes down to it, Garoppolo's not going to be able to make that throw, especially when he throws a pick. Because you notice every time he throws a pick, he takes the ball right out of Garoppolo's hands, and then we're running it the next 15 straight times. Yeah. Hey, Lonnie, Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens. 2000. Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, it will. That's that's why I brought up the Baltimore Ravens. You remember? They went through, like, what was it, like three different quarterbacks? But they had a strong run game, a strong line, and that defense was just nasty. With young Ray Lewis, yeah, that defense was nasty. I mean, no, you talk about 15 yards. Teams was barely getting 2 yards against that defense. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Ed Woo wee. that defense during their young days was absolutely terrifying. Oh yeah, yeah. He was as a matter of fact he was a Gremlins head coach for a while, for a long time. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think he's still working with the school as some type of administrator or something. Yeah, I was a big Doug Williams fan. Hell, shit, I'm still a big Grambling fan. I mean, Stanford is my squad, but but growing up and being that a big chunk of my family is from Louisiana. You know, I came up hearing a lot about Grambling before I heard anything about Stanford. And I was every year, Lonnie, every year, Grambling versus Southern. I got the TV on. I'm watching. You know, anytime. Oh yeah, it's huge. As a matter of fact, I remember I was going out with this one girl when I was younger, and she was from where the hell she said she was from? I forgot what town she said she was from, but she was from Louisiana. So I had to ask her, "Who's your school, Grambling or Southern?" She said Southern. And the reason why I asked her that is because we was actually watching the game. Oh no! The game was coming up, and I asked her about it, and she said Southern. And I told her as soon as she said that, I said, "Well, I don't know if this is gonna work out or not because I'm going for Gremlin, and we about to whoop y'all ass." Yeah, believe me, I know that. That's why I had to realize I was raised different then. Most of it. Yeah, you know. Hey, I encourage anybody who's into college football and you enjoy watching classic college football games. I encourage you to go check out them Southern Grambling games because I'm telling you, those used to. Oh my goodness! And then the halftime shows. Hey, Lonnie, they ain't knowing about the halftime shows. Them halftime shows be lit. As a matter of fact, growing up, I had always said that I was going to go to a Grambling. Yeah, yeah. Although Southern been getting us though. I ain't liking that too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember it was this last one. It was this last one. Uh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. This last classic that they played, they put the camera on Doug Williams, and he looked like he was about to blow up. He was so mad at the way that game was going. I was like, I couldn't do it no more. I had to change the channel. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. But yeah, sure. I'm a big college football fan. Every Saturday I'm on it. I'm going through all the channels too. You know, I'm going through. I'm even watching the games. Most people are not even watching. That's how much I'm into college football. I don't like their rules any more than I like the NFL rules because they real touchy on their rules too.
but the games be so much more exciting though, because it's a lot more fast paced, and and they don't spend a lot of time. Like if somebody if they call a flag, they're not spending the next 10 minutes, trying to figure out, what call they should be, what call should be called. You know, whatever the flag is on, they go boom boom. Or if it's a replay, they ain't spending the next 20 minutes watching the replay. Oh, see, I can only lose one day watching football a week. I choose Sunday. I feel you. You know, because when I didn't always watch college football. I mean, I watched it, but I wouldn't say like I was a fan as a kid. I was more NFL as a kid. I want to say probably like the late 80s is when I really got started to get into college football when Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Miami, what was that? Nebraska, BYU, um, and of course Cal and Stanford. All these schools that was just, you know, on TV every day. The NBA is doing it. They're doing it right on all levels. Do they have some things to work on? Yeah. Everything ain't gonna be perfect, but yeah, you know. And as far as the NBA goes, I'm waiting for these playoffs to start. You know, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one team that will not be in the playoffs this year, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry, Laker fans, but y'all suck. I feel you. Yeah, the Lakers suck. You know what? All that shit everybody be talking about, LeBron is the greatest, LeBron is this, LeBron is that. Y'all can shut that shit down from here on out. I don't want to hear nobody say LeBron is the GOAT. You can't be the GOAT, play on the Lakers, and miss the playoffs. And they owe us their pick if it's 10. Oh, yeah. Oh, for real? Well, you about to get that. Well, the Lakers lost earlier. The Lakers are in 11th now. They're well out the playoffs. They won't even make a playoff game. There's only like a handful of games left now. So yeah, the Lakers is done. But all that GOAT talk about LeBron is the greatest, LeBron is better than Michael Jordan, all y'all can shut that shit down now. Even the non-Laker fans who just love LeBron, stop it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Because Michael Jordan came back in the middle of the season and still led his team to the playoffs. So I don't want to hear it. As a matter of fact, I think it was the same amount of time. I have to go take a look at the numbers. But I want to say the same amount of time LeBron was hurt this year was the same amount of time Jordan wasn't even in the league until he came back on that fateful Sunday. Oh, woo. Well, if things keep going the way that they going, you might end up having to give it to the Hornets because the Lakers are trash. I figured like I mean, think about this, y'all.
All seriousness, y'all call this man the GOAT over Michael Jordan. This man has lost hella final games, right? This man do more jumping from team to team than a prostitute does on a Saturday night. This man wins a championship when the rest of the league wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Because the whole pandemic happened. So they won the championship inside a bubble. Right? Then last year, they get into that playoff game. Or that playing game, excuse me. And if it wasn't for a lucky goddamn shot, it would have been the Warriors playing Phoenix in the first round. And then they get to the first round and get their ass kicked. And then they come back. Oh, we got Russell Westbrook. Oh, we about to do this and we about to do that. Yeah, y'all about to get y'all ass whooped. Oh, LeBron get crushed in the East right now. That's exactly what he did. And think about this. How can you say that you're the greatest when you go join somebody else? Everybody gets on Kevin Durant about him joining the Warriors, but let's remember, it wasn't even LeBron joining D Wade. Let's remember that. Chris Bosh went there before LeBron did. LeBron joined D Wade and Chris Bosh. You can't be the GOAT if you're going to join somebody else. You could be the greatest player of that era, but we're talking about the greatest of all time. You can't do that and call yourself the GOAT. And then this man is just a handful of games away of not even being in the play-in. But you're the greatest of all time, though. I mean, hell, look at what Michael Jordan. Old ass Michael Jordan had the Wizards playing 10 times better than what the Lakers is playing with a younger LeBron. Jordan was in his 40s, had the Wizards, sorry ass Wizards, playing better than what the Lakers is with the team that they have now. And then let's talk about competition, because everybody want to talk about eras. Well, you can't compare this era to that era. True enough. So how are you going to say that LeBron is greater than Michael Jordan when Jordan played in a whole lot tougher era? Because the East back then, shit. Let me see all these players that all these fans hold to, a certain standard playing today, and let's put them in that era against the Lakers of the 80s, the Philadelphia 76ers of the 80s, the Houston Rockets of the 80s, the Detroit Pistons of the 80s, the Chicago Bulls of the 80s. Let's transition to the 90s with those same teams, just the exception of a couple. But you still got to deal with Chicago. You still got to deal with Utah. You still got to deal with the Celtics. You got to deal with New York. New York had a nasty ass team back then. You gotta deal with all those other teams, and it was like a backyard bully fight when them guys used to play back then. So anybody that's calling LeBron the GOAT, I want to know what you're smoking, what you're drinking, and let me find you somewhere to go get your head examined. you know, because LeBron is not the GOAT. You cannot be the GOAT. Hell, Bill Russell had an easier path to those 11 championships, and he still did not miss the playoffs. As a matter of fact, a couple of those seasons, he was the head coach of the team winning championships. So please save it with the GOAT talk. Would you say, Lonnie? I swear, I hope we use the Lakers pick the year Bronny comes out, just to tell LeBron. Since he wants to stay, since he wants to say he's signing to wherever team dresses. Hey, that's funny as hell. You know what? I was thinking about that. I was like, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, what if his son gets gets drafted to let's just say the Sacramento Kings. Let's just hypothetically say Bronny gets drafted to the Sacramento Kings. You know, because you see LeBron James going to the Sacramento Kings. Well, hell, he might as well. As sorry as the Lakers look, ain't much difference. You know, but hey, y'all, I'm about to end this. Just wanted to come up on here, touch on WrestleMania real quick, and then as you see, we jumped into other things, other sports topics. So let me get my shots out. Let me give a shout out to Lonnie. You already know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? It was good for you to come through, show support, show that love. Jesse, you already know what it is. We've been rocking, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. And then everybody else that was watching, you know what I'm saying, thank you for tuning in. Um, Make sure y'all go ahead and y'all subscribe. Y'all subscribe to my boy Jesse Perry's channel. Um, you guys go ahead and subscribe to Jay Coffee Talk. Go ahead and subscribe to that Reckless podcast. You know what I'm saying? And hey, make sure y'all subscribe to this channel too. You know, and you know what I'm saying, Lonnie. Much love. Everybody go subscribe to Lonnie. You know what I'm saying? Just show that love. Just show that love, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And let's spread it. You know, I know it's a lot of things going on today. You know, oh yeah, Frontline Black News. That's Jesse's channel. Make sure y'all go over there and y'all subscribe to his channel. You know what I'm saying? If y'all down with that political talk, man, head on over to his channel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get that political talk. Y'all gonna get that black talk. Y'all gonna get what y'all need to hear and what y'all need to learn. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so y'all be safe out there. Much love, appreciate it. Um, oh yeah, Lonnie. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's just showing that support. It's just showing all that love. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you always jumping on the panel and showing love up in the comments and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you. Um, so y'all make sure y'all have a good night. I'm gonna see y'all again. And like always, no matter what y'all do, make sure y'all keep it militant. Stand on y'all square and don't let nobody take y'all off of it. And with that being said, peace.